Hi, welcome to the Popfiller Podcast. My name is Philip. Let's get things started with the mailbag. Denny B writes in, one of the saddest things about multi-camera sitcoms is knowing that there's a fourth wall that I'll never get to see. Over the years, I've been warmly invited into so many kitchens, living rooms, restaurants, businesses, all of which I'm missing about 25% of. I want to visit these places and see what's there, see what I'm missing. What if there's something important on these walls that informs the larger story of the show, like a photo or a painting or a mounted animal trophy? The fourth wall could have a door or a window that leads to even more situations. All I'm saying is that these lost walls could fill in narrative gaps that we didn't even know were there. Hi Denny, thanks for writing in. I think there's no wall so that they can get the cameras in to shoot the show. It's probably a holdover from the theater, so audiences can get a look at the action on stage. I hope that helps. Okay, let's rewind 1,000 years. No, not really. We're just in a history class, and teacher has us studying history. Vikings or something. So it's exactly 1,000 years in the past. So 1,000 years ago from today would be the year 1018. Wait, something's not right. That sounds weird. 1018? 1018? Yeah, 1018. That sounds better. So, fast forward 1,000 years. What year is it? Is it 2018? No, I'm pretty sure it's 2018. I don't care that much, but I'm going to keep saying it 2018. And I wanted to explain myself. Thanks. Now, let's look at the world through the lens of science. It's time for confounding experiments. Remember, you can always follow along and try these experiments out yourself. And don't forget your safety goggles. This week, you're going to need a carton or jug of milk, a thumbtack, an ice cube tray, and a bottle cap. If I were you, I wouldn't use the bottle cap from your milk jug. Is everything gathered? Okay, great. So what we're going to do is take our thumbtack and bottle cap and put them in the ice cube tray. Use 1 cube slot per item. Now, you're going to take the milk and fill the tray. I'm using almond milk, but goat's milk will work too. Alright, don't fill them too much. That's good. Are the items floating a little bit in the milk? That's okay. Now it's time to put our tray in the freezer. I'll wait. Have you put the tray in the freezer? Okay, now go take it out. What is it like? Are the items still floating there in the milk? Interesting. Now, as I was preparing for this experiment in the months leading up to this recording, I took it one step further and left the ice cube tray in the freezer overnight. And when I pulled the tray out, the milk was actually frozen. I've actually gotten the frozen results in front of me right now. The milk is fairly opaque, but I can make out the shadowy figure of the thumbtack. And the bottle cap is poking out a little bit from its cube. So I'm going to take an ice pick and chisel the frozen milk away from the items. So you'll also need an ice pick. Now I don't have an ice pick, so I'm improvising with some other kind of pick tool. I don't know what it's called. And I'm hammering it with a rubber mallet. Though I don't have a rubber mallet, so I'm improvising by using a regular hammer. Okay. Just chiseling a little bit here. Some exciting science. Okay, so I've retrieved the thumbtack, and it is, well, it's still sharp. Now I'm recovering the bottle cap, and it's still a little chilly, but the threading on the interior wall of the cap has remained intact. How about you? Did you find similar results or something completely different? Remember, our world is a laboratory, so experiment already. This has been Confounding Experiments. Okay, before we wrap things up, I have one more little piece of business to tend to. What I'm about to say is really for one person in particular, and you know who you are. I want my money. If I don't get paid, I'll be coming for you. Okay? Give me all my money. I want my money. Okay, lastly, it's time for another household tip. How do you open cans? Let me clarify. How do you open canned vegetables, fruits, and soups? Do you have a manually operated can opener? Do you have an electric can opener? Do you saw into it with a knife? Regardless of how you open up a can, once it's open, you've essentially created a deadly weapon. Wielded right, a freshly cut can lid is able to make a mockery of human flesh. What I'm saying is be careful. If you're not, you can end up cutting the back of your hand open, right behind the thumb. You'll stand there with a wad of paper towels pressed down on the wound, but the blood flow won't quite stop enough for you to eat the soup that you went ahead and heated up because you figured things were about to sufficiently clot. You also run it under some water, and the blood just flows in an endless pink and slippery stream off your hand and down the drain. As I say this, the back of my left hand tingles, just above the thumb. That's because that scared little boy in the story I just told you was me when I was a 24-year-old fool, not showing can lids the proper respect. I got reckless. I opened up the can with a manual can opener, and the lid slipped and cut my hand. Eventually, once I decided that the cut wasn't going to clot on its own, I went to a clinic near my apartment. They gave me 1 stitch and a tetanus shot. It's just like the old saying goes, soup can's gonna cut a bitch, and you're gonna have to go get a stitch. Anyway, here's the tip. Take your time with opening cans. Okay, that'll bring us to the close of another Pop Filler. Thanks for listening, and remember, you'll be fine. Quick update. I found an email recounting the soup can incident from the very night that it happened. It turns out I did eat the soup before going to get a stitch. Apparently I tried to put a Band-Aid on, but it just soaked through with blood. Oh, one more thing. Give me my money.